take the stuff, confiscate it, are the ones going home and taking it home and smoking it, or putting it back out on the streets, for God's sakes. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So in this next story, I found out something that maybe there's a reason that I'm such a violent racist, because I used to love watching SpongeBob SquarePants. And as it turns out, according to a university professor in the U.S., he's a colonizer. SpongeBob SquarePants is violent, racist, and whitewashes U.S. history. Look, dude, like... Okay, so we do this segment at the beginning of the show called the Phobismus, where we do shit like this and we pretend to be offended by everything.
Are people starting to really, really do this without our help?
No, they've been doing it, but it's like they're beating.
They make it easy.
I'm upset because they're beating us to it. It's like, I'm sure eventually at some point...
we can't be offended by everything and get it all in one show. We ought to do just one show for nothing but Phobismus shit.
Oh, no, it's not that good. We need to be better comedians for that to work.
This is true.
No, I feel like at some point we would have eventually gotten to SpongeBob and been able to explain to you guys why it's offensive, but somebody already beat us to it. And just to spell this out a little bit, they said it's... writing in it, let me read from the article here. This is from the sun.co.uk. It says, writing in an academic journal, University of Washington anthropology professor Holly M. Barker. Oh, by the way, when I first heard this, I hadn't seen who this quote-unquote professor was, and I just knew it was a woman. I just had a feeling, and lo and behold, Holly M. Barker. You just tend to start noticing these patterns.
This isn't going to be something that comes from the conservative side. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, it usually don't come from men. Anyway, so she drew parallels between the children's cartoon and the past use of the Marshall Islands for American nuclear testing.
What?
Yeah, so she says the show...
Are you really incorporating real life to cartoons?
That's what she's doing. Let me continue. She says the show looks to whitewash the U.S. history of using the Marshall Islands to test nuclear weapons. Sections of the Marshall Islands remain uninhabitable to this day. SpongeBob and other characters in this long-running show live in an underwater town called Bikini Bottom. In the aftermath of the Second World War, the U.S. military moved natives off a constituent island off the Marshall Islands named Bikini Atoll, A-T-O-L-L, so as to test nuclear weapons in the area. Now, Bikini Atoll and a number of its neighboring islands remain too contaminated for habitation today. Now, I highlighted this part because I thought this was specifically very interesting. This is where her source for this information came from. One fan theory has it. One fan has a theory, and now SpongeBob is racist. Has a theory. One fan theory has it that SpongeBob and his collection of weird and wonderful friends are the result of mutations caused by radiation on Bikini Atoll above them.
Okay, my red ball squirrel's coming out of me, but did you see the size of that fucking cake over there? Holy shit. Who is going to pay that much money for a 10-tier cake?
That's a big old cake. That's a big old cake.
Anyways, sorry. I just happened to look over to see it. I was like, what the fuck? Why?
Oh, yeah, it cost over... $1K.
Who does that? Why would you do that?
I don't know.
That's like
people like that. I don't know.
Okay, back.
I have no idea.
Okay,
people
let's
do
get
weird
back
shit. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of America, man. We should be able to do weird shit.
No, it's European.
Well, that's
look at the currency on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay. Anyway,
back to the topic at hand. Yes. So yeah. I lost where I was at. You just distracted me. I am going to kill you now.
The one fan theory has hit SpongeBob and his collection of weird and wonderful friends are the result of mutations caused by radiation on Bikini Atoll above them.
This is what interests me too. Is Barker's article appeared in journal The Contemporary Pacific, a journal of island affairs, under the title "Unsettling SpongeBob and the Legacies of Violence on Bikini Bottom." A journal. Like this is the kind of stuff, the submissions they're taking and going, yeah, that sounds legit. Quote, billions of people around the globe are well acquainted with SpongeBob SquarePants and the antics of the title character and his friends on Bikini Bottom, she wrote. She goes on to say, by the same token, there is an absence of public discourse about the whitewashing of violent American military activities through SpongeBob's occupation and reclaiming of the bottom of Bikini Atoll's lagoon. Like,
What goes through? I never thought I would live in a time like this.
Like, this is
are for them to have a degree and to even be a professor is mind-boggling that they would even come up with something so absurd. This is stupid. This is not even.
I don't know. I don't know, man. She continues.
Well, it is the
she
sun,
continues
so.
on saying SpongeBob SquarePants and his friends play a role in normalizing the settler colonial takings of indigenous lands while erasing the ancestral Bikinian people from their non-fictional homeland. SpongeBob's fault for all of this.
This right here is why we can't have nice things anymore.
This is why we can't.
This right here is why.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, this is just. I'm over here just.
It never said what she was a professor of. What
it doesn't matter. You have a degree.
Like, I'm curious. What is she teaching? That this is the kind of like mode of thinking that, I mean, this is one of the. I think this is a perfect example of when you are a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
Like when you're already filled with hate, everything else you look at
is hate. Yeah.
I mean, you see
I
it
just
everywhere.
don't understand.
When you
I
already
mean,
think in your mind that everybody's a racist, you're going to see racism everywhere. Like, that's just, it's when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And this is the exact same shit. She sees every cartoon is probably going to look like she's
it's
out there
racist
looking for
and,
any
yeah.
examples of cultural appropriation and racism and violence and colonization, and she's going to find any way she can to connect those dots. And they say the right wing is a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Like, these are some wildly disparate dots that don't make any sense at all. I mean,
I'm just kind of dumbfounded. I mean, I have worn my tinfoil hat a time or two, but this is fucking ridiculous.
This is off the deep end
mean,
for sure. For sure.
I wonder what the creators were thinking back when they came out with SpongeBob. You know, like how that conversation would have went down. Oh, we're gonna come up with a cartoon series about an island that's been nuked, and we're gonna show a mutated starfish and a sponge.
Right. So in honor of that, I've decided to turn my kids into a bunch of racists as well. And we were drawing. This is my daughter's drawings of. SpongeBob SquarePants and his friends. Hi, Squidward. Yeah, that's actually pretty cute. That's cute. I like that.
You're just a racist prick, dude.
So my kids are going to be
for you to expose your kids.
They're going to be.
I'm just not okay.
Yeah, I'm raising them to be
not
racist,
okay.
colonizers, racist colonizers,
yeah.
like me. Yeah. I mean, you got to pass on the culture, man. You got to pass on the culture.
I often wonder because if you ever watch. Can you imagine if they brought back Beavis and Butthead? How many people that would trigger?
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh!
I so wish they would do that.
Check this out. It was brought to my attention by my son that Patrick is giving two Nazi salutes at the same time. That dude is dedicated to the Third Reich.
We got to draw a little mustache right there above his mouth.
That dude is dedicated.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't draw Patrick doing the OK sign. Oh, this is so ridiculous.
I just sometimes I can't even. Why do we deal with this fuckery? It just doesn't make any sense.
See, D. Maria, I appreciate you. She went and did some research. She found out that this Professor Barker, she's the professor of bullshit.
Oh, yes, that would be correct.
That's exactly correct. Thank you for